Hey, can't hear you, Flo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Okay, let me play with this. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Hi. So, hello, everybody. I'm Q from WeWeb, charge of marketing here. And Flo is still our Chief Product Officer, so the best guy you can find in WeWeb to answer your product-related questions. So, as always, feel free to present yourself in the chat and how long you've been using WeWeb. And if you have any questions, like Paz has done, please ask it on the question and answer panel so that we can get them in order. And if needed, we'll invite you on stage if you want, of course, to answer these questions. So, first question from Paz. Any update on the deployment webhook? Right now, it only sends the request, but no payload or content or context. I would love to see it send the description and version number. So I think we don't have anything in the pipe for webhooks, like improving webhooks right now, no?
No, you mean the link to tell you that it's published, right? Is it what you are talking
Yeah,
about?
like when you're, I think it's when you're pushing the, yes,
Okay.
yeah, like you're pinging the API to publish the web app, yeah.
So you'd like to have the status to have more information, maybe when it fails or something like this? And the version you said, okay. So
Like
that
the
works.
description and version number. But if you want to like pass to list everything you want in the endpoint, we can either invite you on stage or like you can send it in the chat as you want. Because I think we don't have it in the pipe to improve it, but we can add it
No, it's not.
one day.
I can confirm.
Sure, so let's invite him. Hey. Is everything okay? Otherwise, we can do it in the chat, no worries. Because we can't hear or see you. Hey.
Okay, we can't hear you. Okay, you're talking about this hook.
This hook sending, you're sending it to make, okay. And then, but what will you want inside it? Like, would be interesting to see how you're using it in make, for example.
Okay, and you're pushing this to your own backend or
To Superbase. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so well, I guess we are going to create a ticket for this. So
Yeah.
please add this into the feedback application, so we could have
Sending you the link on the chat. That's done. No worries. Yeah, Zoom sometimes is a mess.
But we'll definitely think about it. I guess it won't be a huge things to do. So we could add a payload indeed with some information.
Nice. So Pascal has a question about ChartJS Matrix. Do I have to develop a WeWeb component if I want to add a matrix type chart? And if so, what is the most appropriate tutorial video to do so, knowing that I'm not a coder? Thank you. I think we don't have the matrix type charts. And for the video, I would recommend a live we've done with Aurélie, our head of frontend. So I will find it back. The thing is, this is changing right now because we are working on the marketplace. So we are changing many things about the developer experience, and we'll work on the developer experience also early next year. So everything you will see is not final, but I will send you a live about this, and otherwise the developer docs. But let me check.
Okay, so let me check which one it is, the matrix one. Bar, line, area. I'm not sure which one it is.
This was the live. So I will invite Pascal just to be sure, but let me send you the live and the developer docs.
You can see the bar charts, the line charts, the area charts, linear. But I'm not sure to get which one it is.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, thank you for taking me in. Yes, following your instructions, the last time I talked to you, I did go into advanced mode for graphs and for some bar graphs and standard graphs. And today I need to use a matrix graph, which is available on ChartJS, but which has not been implemented into WeWeb. And the only way I found to do so is somehow to develop a WeWeb component. But I went through some videos for that, and since I'm not a coder, it seems a bit unrealistic for me.
Yeah, it can be difficult indeed. But in the documentation, I cannot find the matrix chart.
Yeah, I can't find it as well.
It's when you go into. Let me find it again. Sorry.
You may have a different name.
No, it is it's because you have to go into something like those amazing examples, or let me find it. They keep that. Let me check.
You could share it, that'd be cool, because maybe this is another type that's already existing and this is a configuration.
Yes, exactly. That's what I wanted to check, because you may be able to do it with what we have today.
The way to go is it's ChartJS chart-matrix.pages.dev.
Could you share your screen, Pascal?
Yes.
Thanks.
Just go. This one. Okay. How can I find sharing screen on Zoom? Oh, partager l'écran. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
yes. It's below.
Okay, this one. Tell me if you can see it.
Yeah.
Ah, it's a plugin. Okay.
Yeah, it's a plugin.
Ah, it's a yeah, okay.
Okay, ChartJS Chart Matrix. So indeed, we cannot add it like it is Because yes, we thought that we could add the plugins into the current ChartJS plugin into the editor, but we didn't do it for a simple reason, because we would add all those plugins for everyone, even if you don't need it. So we have to create kind of sub plugins to make it work without hurting the performances. So this is why we couldn't do it easily. But indeed, you do need to code right now if you wish to do that. Maybe with the npm plugins visible. I need to check.
Okay.
Need to check.
Okay. Maybe if I explain more what I'm trying to do and why I wanted to get a matrix view, it's because let's say my x-axis would be the months January to December, and my y-axis would be some categories. Let's say TV, print, outdoor. And I want to end up with a full cell if it's active for TV in February, for example, and an empty cell if it's non-active. So that's why I try to do that with all the cards that you do propose in WeWeb, but I couldn't find a way to do it with the other type of cards. So
yeah, no, you need to create it yourself with some flex boxes if you wish to do it properly.
Okay.
That wouldn't be so hard to do with flex boxes, though, I think.
Yeah. I've seen the clients that have already done something like this.
Because what you could do is like collection lists or try to compute, because the matrix is basically like a table, and you could try to compute your table inside WeWeb or inside your backend, and then binding it to like having a collection list, and inside it again like another collection list to do like the first one would be the x-axis, for example, and the second one the y. And then you just have to bind if something is on or off inside it.
Yes, that's what I've done as well. That's why I was just trying, and it does work. I was just wondering if I just share my screen on this one.
We're seeing WeWeb right now.
You're seeing WeWeb. So you see this table, it's just a test. So I've made up some condition with an icon to I have a table behind in supervisor which says true or false with a boolean, and I made it this way. But point is, I can do it this way. I just thought it would have a better rendering with a graph. But I'm not going to get into trouble in trying to do some coding and try to code a component, because I don't think I will be able to do that. So I will keep with my table and doing it.
Yeah, like for the size of this table, it would like the rendering would be much different, because actually ChartJS is a big plugin. I mean, it's heavily optimized because it's a really good open source plugin, but if you do it yourself, I think the rendering time wouldn't be that much different, to be honest.
I have a question about the tables, because sometimes when I want to add a column, and I do just Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to add a column, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes I have to go back into another page, come back to this page to add a column. It really reacts in a strange way. Do you know about that?
No, it would be cool if you could do a bug ticket with a video.
Okay, if I do it now, I'm sure it's going to work. But you see, of course it works. The other point though is if I want to add another column, I will also add a header. Here I go. Now I cannot, you see the first column has taken the list of 12, and I just cannot take it back to 1. And hence I cannot display all my columns. Well, they are there, but they are lost somewhere on the right.
You cannot play with the little handle. You cannot select it.
No,
Yes.
it doesn't come. It's as if I had one too many columns.
Yeah, because maybe this is not the first handle that's being clicked on, because all the handles, they are the same point, no?
I don't know, but I'm a bit stuck with this one. And you see, if I remove it, I will just remove this last column. Now I'm back to it, but I'm missing August. And I'm just struggling with having the right number of columns.
And if you if you change the parents container number of like what do you say? Like if you go in
this one is a section. The one called histogram page.
Yeah, no, the one called headers.
This one?
No,
No,
the one under it. Yeah. And if you go inside the settings, up
the settings,
tab.
The settings tab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then in specific, maybe we have it. Yeah, like unique counts. Maybe you can add like a 13th, and then the browser will know how to split if there is a new one, hopefully.
Okay, so now I can add it. Can I add it again?
Yeah, but in the headers, like if you're adding it in the rows,
you need to do it.
Let's try with the. Yeah. But let's copy paste. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, it works because you have like 1/13 for everything.
Okay, great. Thank you. I did look for that, but I couldn't find it.
No, but the thing is, otherwise it's overflowing, so it should work. But because it overflows outside of the page, the browser is stuck. It doesn't know what to do.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Great. Okay. So I'm not stuck anymore. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Cool. No worries.
Perfect.
Okay. And I will try keeping a look if at some point you do get in the plugins for ChartJS. If you find a way to do that, that would be great.
Yeah, we will definitely find a way to add those plugins. You're not the only one to ask for this. So it's on our mind.
Thanks a lot for your help.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Okay, question from Blake. I'm using Xano and Sendgrid to send emails. I'm not great at using Sendgrid, so I was trying to format a body to the email like a rich text with bound data. From what I see, I would need to do JavaScript to do this. Is that the only way, or can I use Sendgrid directly with WeWeb? Another option is to get Make connected, but I haven't given that a valid effort yet. So Make would definitely work, but from what I remember, because I've been using Sendgrid in my past life, you can send it variables and then work your templates inside Sendgrid, and Xano would just act as a proxy between WeWeb and Sendgrid. We don't have a Sendgrid plugin right now. It will be in the pipe when we will have the marketplace ready. But in the meantime, we can definitely check what you've done with the rich text, because the rich text, you don't need any JavaScript. What most email services they do is that you send them like HTML or Markdown, and they will just render it for you. So you don't even need to render it before. So you don't even need JavaScript. Normally, you're just sending a string. So let me promote you. I know that Sendgrid can be a mess sometimes. It's really like opinionated about how it works, but should work. Yeah, pass feedback.weweb.io and support.weweb.io for bugs that are made with WeWeb. And actually, Joyce is working on a template using feedback.weweb.io.
And also the Academy is done with WeWeb.
Yeah. Good. Well, let me send me the Academy again. Yeah, exactly.
Of course. That's a nice way to understand. I can answer your last question, Blake. So to use Sendgrid directly with WeWeb, you would need a plugin for this to hide your credentials.
Yeah.
But if you reach out only with the front end, the Sendgrid endpoints, you would have to put the credentials into the request, and so it would be a leak into your stack. So
Exactly.
anyone finds this endpoint and request it instead of you and send emails to thousands and hundreds of thousands of people to just
Yeah, I like to do phishing.
True story. We did
For
that.
spam. I don't know if you managed to connect. Let me check again. The Zoom parameters are okay. So if you're struggling, and that's why we'll do the plugins. But normally, what you do is that you use your backend to send emails, and that's exactly why, as Flo has explained, because sending from the front end, you can get the API keys and spam people in your name, which is really bad. And also sometimes you want to send emails as a background task or like asynchronously, and you can't do this from the front end. Hey. No, we're seeing you.
Hello.
And we can hear you. Nice. Hey.
Is there a better way than Sendgrid to do emailing?
My preferred one is customer.io because it's really versatile and it plugs really nice with Segment, for example. Because what I like with customer.io is that you can give it any payload you want and it will just take it, like for the user and the events. Whereas Sendgrid or MailChimp, they're really old tools in a way that they are really opinionated about what data they can ingest. But yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you want to do. And Customer.io is like a bit different. Also, it's more like tailored for SaaS, when Sendgrid is more like for, I think, e-commerce, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay,
but
I'll look into that.
You can show us if you want, like the rich text you bound, so that we can double check. Because normally you just have to send the string. No need to use JavaScript.
Okay. Yeah, I can show you what I've got here. Second.
And by the way, for people interested, we were using the Sendgrid plugin in Xano when we've done the CRM template back in the days. But from what I've seen, it's really easy to change the API calls to use any other email service. So if you want to switch to any other provider, it should be really easy.
Okay, let me see how to share my screen.
The one we're using, so Paz, let me, Derek, sorry, let me send it in the chat. It's the one we're using for WeWeb emails, by the way. Customer.io. And if you want to plug to it and other tools, I really recommend using Segment, so that you use only, because we have a Segment plugin in WeWeb, and then you just plug Segment, and then you can add Intercom, for example. You can add Customer.io, you can add Google Analytics, anything you want, but you don't need to actually add it to WeWeb. Segment will do the proxy for you.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's when you're adding a user.
Yeah.
Nope. Let's see. Trying to remember where I was doing the emails. It was here. Okay.
I suppose it's in a workflow, yeah.
Yeah, so this one, Actually, this was just the email. That's just adding that. Sorry, I should have been a little more prepared before I jumped on.
No worries.
Oh, it was here. I've also had a problem. This is a separate thing. I don't know if I did this the right way. So
Yeah.
I have a list. These are a list of jobs. This is a job tracking software.
Mm-hmm.
And when you click on the item,
Yeah.
this is the workflow that I have it doing right now. I have it changing a variable for a job ID, then it runs, pulls that specific job, page loader, then changes to that page. When I tried to do it through the link like this, to do page, job details, and then the parameter, making it that ID, it was loading the page before the data would get there. So it's the way that I did it using the workflows. Like, is there a right, wrong way there? Is it slowing it down doing it the way I did it versus doing it this way?
I don't know, like, were you also activating the loader on page change when you were using the link? You see under, you've got loader on
this
page
one?
change. No,
Yeah.
under, like this one.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you did it with the workflow, it should be okay. It should be okay too.
Okay. But that was the button. That's all I had to do is just change that to on. And it probably, the data should get loaded before the page loads.
No. If you need to, let me try to really understand what you do. So when you do a page change, you need to run some logic, or it's when you change the page, then you need to load data.
Yeah, it needs to go to this jobs details page. That's like my template for that.
But you just need an ID basically to load the specific collection details, right? So
yeah, and I made the ID
in here. Okay. Yes, that's perfect. So normally you should just have to do the link. You don't need to do it with a workflow.
with the whole workflow.
Yeah, and the fact that the data loads after, it's normal, because then I imagine you've got an on-page load workflow fetching the right. No, okay, I get it. Because in the workflow, you're fetching the right job. Whereas if you use the link, then you're only going to a page with a specific ID. So then on page load, you need a workflow fetching the right job detail, because the page is only aware of the ID. It's not aware of the job detail. So what you've done is first, like when using the workflow, you've loaded the data while the page is changing. Whereas like when you use the link, it will change the page and then load the data, but it's exactly the same in the end.
Okay.
Just to make sure for performances, so can we try just to bind with the link? Make a small test.
Yeah.
So you see that we don't have many questions after, so we can spend a bit of time.
Let me take away that workflow.
We can do that.
So then I can make it so that this will work with the link.
So link to page, job details, perfect. And then you bind to the proper ID, perfect.
And we'll turn on this.
You can, but yeah.
And then on page load
So
here, right?
yes, here,
Yeah.
but only if you disabled the automatic fetch for your collection. So you don't have to do that if you keep automatic fetch for your collection, but you can do it manually if you prefer. But can you show us the collection you're trying to fetch on the page detail?
Yeah, so click on it now,
Yeah, click on it.
see if it works.
Yeah.
Yep, that one worked.
Okay, perfect. Just to make sure you are not loading twice the collection, can you show us the collection details you are loading?
Yeah, I think you called it specific job, like the collection with only this job.
Sorry.
Like if you go in the collections,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and then here you've got specific job. In what you should do is like here in advanced,
Yeah, can you show us advanced just below?
in
Yeah.
fetch data
Yeah.
here,
Okay.
like
Okay. So
disable.
you are so normally you don't have to create a workflow on page load like you did manually. Because it will be fetched automatically because it's queued. So how does it work? In here, when this option is toggled, it means that if we find any elements using anything from this collection, we are going to load the collection at page load automatically.
Okay.
But sometimes you need to improve your performances, or you don't want to load all the collection at page load because you want
Yeah.
it to load it faster because it's a collection that you can load when you click on a pop-up or something like this. And a pop-up was not a good example because we cannot find what is inside. But anyway, if you untoggle this, you're gonna have better performances because as you are loading it manually, it will be loaded only once.
Okay. And this is actually what was happening. Like this is not the right. This isn't the right one.
Okay, so let's try again.
So if I come back to list and choose something. Still pulling in this one.
It's not the right one too.
That's not the right one, yeah.
And if you go to your
It
collection,
gets stuck
yeah,
to doing the same one.
Can you
Go to
try
my
us again?
collection.
No, not just
like
before the workflow, just to make sure you are loading this collection. The workflow you added on page load for the job details. So on your pages, yes, in here, job details and the trigger in here. Yes, perfect. This workflow. Okay, so in here you are. Can you show us the action? Fetch collections because you are loading a lot of collections here.
Yeah, specific job tasks.
Okay. Can you show us specific job again?
Yeah.
Perfect. And the configuration
This might
time.
be.
And job ID, yes, I need to check that. Jobs ID and in here. Okay.
Yeah, this is what I did because I couldn't get it to consistently change. So I started using a variable and changing that variable every time. So that's why that workflow that I made uses the job ID. I also noticed that when you, oh, we can solve this problem first.
why do you have a plus?
A
Sorry,
plus.
I'm struggling.
Yeah, Y
Yeah.
plus here.
That turned it to from a string to a number.
But it's not the plus from JavaScript, so you should use the toNumber variable,
Yeah, it's better.
like in the
Okay.
formula. Yeah, and wrap it. Yeah.
Okay, so 558, and in here, if you click continue, do you have the right data, just to make sure? No.
Let's see.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it again.
Yeah, let me click on one and then we'll.
Yeah, so let's see the value.
Yeah,
So it should
556.
be 586, yeah. And if you open specific job, the collection again.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
don't reload it. Yeah.
No, okay. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. So
Yeah.
it's 558. So it's not taken into account.
Yeah, you do have
because job ID is different than 0, I think.
Exactly. It's the other way around in your formula. If job ID equals 0, then you are using the parameter in the well, I guess just bind to the query here. You can remove that. You don't need it. And in
just go to this.
Yeah.
Remove it. Yes, exactly.
And then just switch to toNumber.
Well, I don't even think you need it.
Yeah. And then you need to hit continue to save the formula. And yeah, now you've got the right one.
Yeah. Let's try again.
Yeah, there we go.
Specialist.
There we go.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Just it's taking quite some time because you're loading many collections at once. Yes.
Yeah, I have probably too many collections loading
But you
at the
can
same time.
A small loader. What you can, you know, you have just an element for this if you wish. For example, you can just click the plus button in the top bar to add a new element. And in here, you can search for loader. And have you ever tried to use this one?
Yeah, I use the loader in some of my stuff.
Okay,
but I haven't used it like as a full page. Is that what you're thinking? Is to have it be loading, like show a blank page with that?
Exactly. You hide. You can create just a formula, a global formula, and in that global formula, you just check if you can call it is loading, and in there you add the logic you want. So you can make sure that any of your collection is not fetching. If you have one of your collection fetching, then you should have a loader, something like this, and then hide the text, for example, or the containers in here if you are loading something. So depending on the design you want, it's a good practice to add small loaders also to so just you won't blink, when you get the data.
Yeah, I can work on that. For the email one, this is where it was right here.
Okay.
So it pulls this up and this is what I have as the initial value right now, but I couldn't get it to format in any way. I was using the rich text before, but when I was sending it from Sendgrid, it would actually come across as HTML. That wasn't converting.
So it depends on the tool. Maybe Sendgrid can interpret this. I would not do this though, because HTML used in email is still really old HTML. It's not the same as websites or web apps. So what you should do is actually create email templates in your email tool and use different variables. So that, for example, like type the bulk of the text inside the email template, and then the variables like the name, the date, and the job ID, you send it to the tool, and just in the templates, you will ask Sendgrid to replace the variables and then render the email.
Okay.
So you should do the logic in Sendgrid, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think emails use very old HTML, like tables and stuff. So like the web was 20 years ago. So if you send it
Yeah.
like HTML from the rich text element, it will just do crazy stuff.
Yep, that's what it was doing. It was doing crazy stuff. All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
No
I
worries.
think that answers most of my questions for today.
Cool. See ya then.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So we don't have any other question?
Yeah, feel free to ask other questions if you want in the chat, in the question and answer panel, sorry. Because I see that we still have many people. Oh, look, just asking a question. Maybe a dumb question. No, there's no dumb questions. Apologize in advance. If I'm trying to send a webhook to a partner website, is there an option for that in workflow? Also, if we are sending post-REST APIs, will that be considered server to server? So, for the second question, that won't be considered server to server because you're doing an API call from a front end. So actually, you can encounter coarse issues, for example. That's why we have an option in the REST API call to do the API call, proxy it from our server, and that what it will do is that it will actually do the API call from one of our servers, so actually from a backend. And for the first one, I'm trying to send a webhook to a partner website. Is there an option for that in workflow? I mean, the webhook is a post request. I will invite you just to be sure. But if it's a post request, it's just a REST API call.
This is like seeing celeb in person. I see like all yeah. Yeah, this is a little background. I have very minimal front end experience. I have background in back end. So this is kind of my first times working with APIs and webhooks. So yeah, basically I'm trying to have something like the WeWeb Academy, like a kind of like a learning management system where if a student comes in or a user completes a course, we want to send a webhook to a partner website. That's like tracking the status of the courses. So I was wondering how I might do that. Trying to replicate the WeWeb Academy where it also knows when the video finishes or the course, and then send that to the partner, but it has to be through a server-to-server communication.
For course reason, I mean, your server can only accept a request from another server?
Yeah, the partner.
Yeah, then you need to toggle, like Q said. You've got an option in the REST API call to manage this. So we have a small server. By small, I mean it has only one job, is to just take your request and send it where you want it. So it just does this. So it will be through a server.
Okay.
I think
Gotcha.
I've got this here. So spoiler alert, this is the template from next Tuesday webinar, but no worries. So in the API calls, API bachelor, for example, here you see let me zoom a little. So this will proxy the API call from our servers. So actually, and it's explained here. And then it's servers to servers. And then if you want to track if a course is finished or a video is finished, I think like if you're using plugins like Vimeo or YouTube, they have like triggers when a video is finishing. So you could have a workflow on this.
Okay.
Otherwise, for like when a course is finished, the best way to do this is like when you know you have a button like mark completed or go to next step, then you record the fact that the user finished the current step.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
that just
And
that
then,
should be it.
Awesome. And then I think with the YouTube plugin, like you can turn off to make sure like a user can't, fast forward through a video. And then the best thing after that is just setting up a workflow where to be able to press the next button to make sure that the course has been finished. Is that kind of what you were thinking?
You need to manage that into the backend. I mean, you need to trigger something when the video is done, but the user could just go at the end of the video and then trigger this event. So I guess if you really want to make sure that you read everything, you're gonna have to send multiple events into your backend and add a specific role to make sure that okay, you had an event at I don't know 10%, 20%, 40%, and maybe 80% and 92% of the videos, and then it's complete, something like this. So you could check for this and make sure that this person had all those events recorded into your backend. Otherwise, just have to take the little handler, go to the end of the video, and done. Oh, we lost you.
Sorry about that. Hopefully I can watch the recording and see the full explanation.
Well, I can say it again quickly. So I guess the best way for you is to add multiple events. So into your videos, you add an event at 10%, 20, 40, 60, and 80, 95%. And so you make sure that you recorded all those events to make sure that this person showed I've seen the videos entirely. I mean, if it's really important for you, because otherwise you could. I think we lost you again. No, it's okay. You're still here. Okay, you're still here. Otherwise, it would be easy for the user to just take the handler, go to the end of the video, and get only one event. So if you really make sure of this, you need multiple events to make sure that this person seen the video.
And as Derek is saying, like Wistia has a functionality to do this in their SDK, Vimeo too, but I think you need to use a video provider that does this because YouTube doesn't, I think. But like they can, give you events where the user is at. You can also like prevent seeing videos when another one is not completed. So they are obviously more expensive because YouTube is free, but it's exactly why they are made in the end. It's for this, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Super quick last question. Also trying to integrate like 2D game into the website. Is that something that's been done in WeWeb? Is there, I haven't seen any videos or any documentation of them.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
I think it was from Japan, if I remember well.
I think he created the game using HTML, but not 2D, to be honest. It was only HTML and CSS. Like 2D would be using a Canva, and yeah, it would be more complex. So I think you could definitely embed it using a custom component, but like fully no code right now, not sure.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but maybe with the future components, yeah. Soon with keyframes, as saying Zachary. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Q and Flo. Appreciate it.
No worries. Yeah. And Pascal, do you still have the bug so we can maybe check it?
We can, but if you manage to redo it, Pascal, usually when there is a bug, we need to reproduce it ourselves to check if it's coming from ours. So if right now you manage to do it, I guess the best way is to create a ticket and record record a video with your bug so we could recreate it. I guess it's the best way to fix it right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if in life we could find the specific thing that is not working, especially if it's a real bug. So please record it.
Okay, we don't have any other questions in the panel.
Okay.
Zachary, the auto screenshot of a component, like saving in the library?
Yes, we do have an issue right now with it. We need to fix it.
Okay. Yeah, and this will, I mean, last time Flo did talk a lot about the roadmap, the WeWeb roadmap, and the design system will change so much. It's currently being tested right now that this will change. So do not worry, this will be fixed because this will totally change. Along with the new editor and all kind of nice treats, hopefully for Christmas, finger crossed, but yeah.
Yeah, we are working hard to release this before the end of the year.
What's the dog name? Sayona. And she's really sleepy. I can remove the blur, but you will see my really messy room, but let's do it. Confidence in you guys, because I'm actually in my bedroom, so it's really intimate, but yeah. So she's here. Sayona. No, she's sleeping so much. But yeah. She's just waiting for the end of the call, you know, so that I can get her outside. Yeah, it's late. It's winter, so. But I was in Copenhagen like this weekend, and I can say that it was even darker. So yeah, pretty happy. So yeah, if that's okay for you all, I will we'll finish here, and I will walk my dog. By the way, and we'll see each other next week for the office hours, same day, same time. And just on Thursday, we'll do a live at 6 p.m. Paris time, so I think it's 12 p.m. EST with FastGen, so a new backend tool, and we'll present the Serum template, but with FastGen. And I think it will be pretty interesting because it's the new kind of backends that are still really young, but that are really powerful and customizable. So if you want to check how we've done it, it will be on Thursday. Oh, just one last question from Zachary Smallthing for an eventual Figma plugin. Check out maybe Token Studio. Many more. Okay. So check out another plugin. I think our Figma plugin will come next year, as Flo said last time. Yeah. Are there any videos out there on connecting Meg.com? No, but you can use the webhooks, because basically the webhook plugin, it's the same as Zapier. You just send a request, a REST API request to it. So mostly a post request. So you just have to do a post request to Make, and then that works. But we can add this to our list of I'm adding this to the list of tutorials to do. No worries. Cool. Hopefully we helped. And my dog will maybe wake up. I think we killed her. But yeah. In the meantime, have a great week, everybody, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.